welcome back to the EdTech podcast. I'm your host, Philippa Wraithmell. Today's episode will start with our news update, the AI paradox in global education and the workforce. The latest global evidence is sharpening a single challenge for education systems. Can schools and universities become the mechanism that turns AI into a lever rather than a divider? Several major reports recently are pointing to the same risk. The AI is accelerating fast, but access, skills and safeguards are not keeping pace, meaning the benefits could concentrate in high-income countries and among already advantaged learners. The World Trade Organization, in its World Trade Report 2025, says that AI could boost global trade by nearly 40% by 2040, but only if policy and technology gaps are bridged. Otherwise, low-income countries may miss the upside. The United Nations Development Programme warns that AI could trigger the next great divergence between countries if readiness and adoption remain unequal. And with AI use far higher in high-income economies and still very low in many low-income contexts, this could be a problem. With Microsoft's AI diffusion report covered widely in October 2025, it argues that AI is spreading faster than previous technologies like electricity or the internet. Yet large parts of the world still lack the infrastructure and skills to participate meaningfully. And the OECD's Trees report, although quite some time ago, states that is educating losing the race with technology. It highlights the importance of a tough implication for workforce readiness, which is still so relevant today in core areas like literacy and numeracy. Many adult skill levels are still close to what AI systems can already perform. This is raising the bar for what education must now deliver. And so what does that mean for education institutes? It suggests that the education response is no longer just about digital devices or curriculum add-ons, but is about three urgent roles: building practical AI literacy, hands-on job-relevant use, not theory or specialist degrees, so learners can work and use AI to augment their own human capability. It's about protecting learners with clear boundaries on privacy, safety, and high-risk uses, with things like the EU AI Act often referenced as the most developed model for guardrails. And number 3 is to close the access gap by treating connectivity, computing capacity, and teaching capability as economic infrastructure, not as optional edtech. So if AI is moving faster than education systems can reform, what's the one change educational leaders, governments should now prioritise? Universal AI literacy, teacher workload reduction, or national safety frameworks to stop this becoming a permanent global divide? That question throws out to you. If you want to listen and speak up, that question is out to you. If you want to be part of the conversation, let us know on the socials, subscribe, or even leave a voice note on SpeakPipe. Teachers, have you heard of Bett UK 2026? Well, today's episode is sponsored by them. It's the world's biggest education and technology event, and it's completely free for educators, from keynote speakers and panel discussions to CPD accredited workshops and networking. Bett UK 2026 is where educators from across the globe come together to share ideas, spark inspiration, and find solutions that drive our mission to drive a better education globally. Get your free ticket today at bettshow.com. All the information is in the show notes. In today's episode, we're exploring what I'm calling the AI paradox, whether artificial intelligence becomes great leveler in education or the great divider. I'm joined by Alina Sava, a senior education specialist at the World Bank. Based in Romania, Alina brings powerful blends of experience across government education reform and equity. And she speaks with a refreshing honesty about the realities that we're all grappling with: jobs changing fast, education systems moving slowly, and the urgent need for strong frameworks that protect children while enabling teachers to thrive. We talk about why the World Bank's agenda is increasingly focused on jobs and shared prosperity, why teachers will remain central even as AI becomes an everyday assistant, and what governments need to do now to avoid widening the gap between those who can access AI and those who can't. Let's get into it. Welcome, Alina, to the EdTech podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Would you be able to tell our listeners worldwide who you are and what you do?
I think I'm a regular person, I'm like them. But I love podcasts because this is a way that I can fall asleep every day. So with a good podcast, you learn, and at the same time, you can use it regularly. When you run, when you do other activities, when you wash dishes. So I will introduce myself. My name is Alina Sava. I'm from Romania. I'm a senior education specialist at the World Bank. All my life, I've been involved in education. But if you look at the way I was trained and instructed and educated, I took a different path than others. So my bachelor is in tourism, and I did 2 master degrees, one an MBA with American University, but also sociology, so social policies. I studied European social policies because I was interested to not have only an angle of an economist, but rather to be more than that, to understand the social patterns, to understand who am I in this society and what would be a good role. The chance that I had as a career, and then a PhD in education sciences, and my thesis, it is about equity in education, because this is something that I struggle for the past 30 years to solve, and it is not yet solved. By definition, I work for vulnerable students and for vulnerable children and for a population that needs support if we want to be a competitive society. There is no other way. We cannot help the better off. We need to help the majority, and the majority is not wealthy enough to share prosperity. And now I turn back to the bank. So once I worked a lot in the Ministry of Education and became a freelancer, I ended up in the World Banking team and as an education specialist. And since then, I work and I'm involved in so many projects. And education is not per se only a sector that you work only in education. I help many industries and many other sectors because we can help horizontally and vertically. I worked in all sectors of education, from ECD to higher education. And I think it's an endless job. So you can do this forever. But now, being an education specialist with the support of AI, you can be even better. It enhances your job, or you might be replaced if you're a poor one. If you're an average person, then of course you'll be replaced by AI. If you still have some brain and some cells and some common sense, I think you will survive. It's nothing more than that. I think people survive better during changes. Sometimes we need to kick the bottom to be able and change and transform ourselves. Not afraid of AI, and neither other people should be. It's a way of seeing what it has sense or not for our lives, and also to put more efforts where is needed. Maybe too many clerks in the world, right? Too many clerks, too many people that are middle managers. This is the time to do something else. This is the time when our collective set of skills will be very much needed. People that have more than one skill will survive. And people that are driven by learning for their lifetime. Learning should never stop. This is our engine. This is something that we shouldn't miss, irrespective of the place of learning. And again, AI is a place that is competitive for formal education. AI is not only replacing jobs, or it is replacing learning as well. Some learning. So AI can be a method, or it can be an instrument, or it can be another path. I wouldn't say it's another path. I would say that the teachers will remain central. Maybe not us, education specialists, but teachers will remain central. And teachers with AI might not need us, right? To prepare the frameworks. Still, there is no good prompt without a framework, without a good framework. I'm sorry that I'm going from a place to another, but at the World Bank we have twin goals. Reduce poverty and share prosperity in a livable planet. These days, we change this goal because we realize we can help schooling, we can help learning, but the new agenda that the World Bank has is around jobs. We need to have jobs. I think even before AI, many specialists said that 60% of the jobs will be changed. Can you imagine urban agriculture? Can you imagine on your balcony doing agriculture? I think would be a new job.
It's incredible.
AI will be used in so many activities in agriculture we can't imagine. Imagine a farmer using drones that monitor data for crops with AI. We need only to link the industries and to make these people come together. And we are the specialists that we can help them collaborate and intersect more with AI. The more I intersect, the more I know. I could observe also that people go into bubbles. So either they are AI skepticals or they are all in AI and there is no other way. Keeping the balance is very important. We shouldn't be that scared, but we need a sense of cautiousness. We need to protect kids. So first of all, we should test it on us. We should work with it. We should test the boundaries, and then we may found the best place for everyone. But AI is my assistant, and I even imagine that is a dragon that I can train.
I think that's a really wonderful perspective to have, and it's so fantastic to hear someone who is involved within policy and framework design and at the top level of advisory work for ministries to be very balanced around your views and opinions, especially around artificial intelligence, because ultimately we know it's not going away. But as you've just said there, it's your assistant, but it needs to be trained. We all need to understand that to get to the point where we can understand how to be able to collaborate in agriculture, even if that's not necessarily the original industry of choice. And the lifelong learning that you mentioned as well is so vital, because I think this is one of those industries, and you mentioned jobs, where we're very much going to need to iterate ourselves to be able to keep up to date. And that's not to say it's us changing phenomenally from who we are as people, but it's just understanding that we also need to keep retraining ourselves and almost keeping ourselves accountable to the future. One thing I'd love for you just to share is whereabouts in the world are you?
What?
Whereabouts in the world are you?
Where am I? In this situation? With the new prospects, at the moment I have started using AI, I didn't believe that it will have great consequences in my future. And then I could see how it grows. Because at the beginning, without training, without anything, only put information together, it was like a repository. But then I could see that companies and everyone is acting to doing better and better and better, and it became so better. So it's like, would you like to know in this world what's happening? Somewhere it will give you a summary on that respective area. It's amazing. You don't need to hire 10 people that are in different sectors. If you want someone to crunch numbers, you don't need any more great statisticians. You can use another tool that I don't name it here because I don't want to place product, but it was fantastic how it crunched numbers. Of course, they hallucinate. And I'm happy that the system hallucinates because it still needs us. We should be in the driver's seat. That is very important for us, people. And sometimes companies, they are so willing to replace people with robots, but then interaction with robots, it's not a good one for us. We want to interact with humans. So probably the company that will stay with humans, the bank, let's take a bank that uses people to interact with individuals. I think in the long term, that bank will survive and not the bank that is using robots or delivery companies. How many times your package didn't arrive and you talk to a robot and you're so pissed off that you changed the company? No, we still need humans and we still love interacting with humans. So it's like in any cycle when technology changes the entire world, at the end, everything is in cycles. So I'm not afraid when Amazon is saying that they will kick off then they will have massive lays off, because they also hired after pandemic a number of people, because the packaging and the delivery work like crazy. So it is only the market opportunity. So don't be afraid of that. It's not linked to AI. Administrative jobs are in danger, but sometimes I think maybe too many layers of administrative. So it was a comfortable job to sit, and to work in, but maybe we need to change. So we need to do much more effort with our brains. We need to be visionary. We need to prepare frameworks that are good for society. And we need to cut costs in such a way that it's still helpful for the societies in general and for the citizen.
Absolutely.
So where I see myself, I even don't know if I see myself in a regular education stream, or I don't know in the next 10 years I will be senior education specialist. Probably I will work with any industry and help skilling, reskilling, upskilling people, or even innovate in the education sector. I would love to have a new school, like to manage a new school.
So I guess when we think about that incredible school or the different landscape, what sorts of things are you seeing happening across governments and across the World Bank, and things that people are doing in regions that have really inspired you in terms of that transformation of people moving forwards and realizing that they need to make a change and to put things in place? What sorts of things have been really inspirational to you?
I think this is such a great question, Philippa, because most of the time World Bank is working with the government. So we work at the highest level possible. We help government, we provide technical assistance, we provide financing. But and this dilemma, it's a top-down approach or a bottom-up. And education is changing very hard. It has a lot of inertia. It's so difficult to change a very small thing in education. Think about curriculum. In how many years a curriculum framework will change? Teacher training, preparing a training program. Oh my God. You need, to put everything and to make it modern. So now AI came and we are a bit in a freeze mode. So we don't know exactly where to go. So it's a lot of trial and error, if you ask me, or learning by doing. And this is not good for the children. So we need to try on us. So what we do, and we believe that it's our role now, it's on the frameworks. You need a good framework, a strong framework that tells you how to land with AI in schools, in universities, and in administration. Because administration is so easy to help. But you need to change job description, right? You need to see an executive assistant. What will do? How will use the AI tools? It's not like before. You need to use Teams, record, prepare summary with
And some people need that support and guidance, don't they, to kind of go, okay,
some people,
that's allowed.
Some governments, I would say. Some systems
as a whole. But it's that kind of, I think it's come upon us so extraordinarily fast in terms of generative AI, especially.
Yes.
I find it interesting that lots of people don't realize they've been using a lot of AI for a very long time. But generative AI, it's that switch gear to say, it's okay, you can do this, and we want you to. That's the difference, isn't it?
Yes, that's the difference. And you can use this, but also in a way that everyone is safe and protected. So I think the best thing is to tell them what they can't use. So that's why the EU Act, it works very well for the member states in Europe. And we are not allowed to detect emotions. We are not allowed to detect facial recognition and automated grading. So you can use it in the grading, but it shouldn't be automated, because assessment, diagnostic, formative, summative assessment, they are very important in education, and we can use AI, and it will take less time than before. So we'll be very fast, and this is important to be able to correct, to adjust items, but shouldn't be fully automated. It should be augmented. So while we tell them, look, these are the places you don't touch, but all the rest, please do. And let's see how we improve together. What's your needs? What we should finance? What are the best tools? You can use that and that and that. So you give them the possibility to the school, the possibility to work in partnership, maybe with local providers or maybe with local employers. It is a different story, but ultimately, education is to lead to jobs, and not only to jobs, to good citizens and to good family people.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's about everything. It's such a full circle that we need to understand that AI, as long as we are individual, capable with a rationale to use AI to help us, and we still keep the vision, the mission, framework, and the decision. As long as we do that, then this is no threat.
And I wonder do you believe that AI is a tool that will ultimately help in equality and equity, I should say, and being able to level the playing field within education? We know that educated people will be top earners. People with digital skills are higher earners than people who do not have digital skills, especially obviously with the way the world has changed. So in terms of artificial intelligence, are you seeing that as being the game changer as well for this ability to allow equity of access?
I think you pushed the bottom of uncertainty, because it can be a great leveler or it can be a great divider. Who is accessing now AI more? The developed countries. In Romania, 3% of the population is using AI. 3%. So imagine all the rest that is using AI, but not in a regulated way. So somehow they look smarter, they look more efficient, they are better. And the other people that don't know about AI, all of a sudden, all the wisdom, it showed up. So let me tell you a story from a university. So one capable professor wrote projects from all times. All of a sudden, this year, so many others raised their hand to write projects. Why? Because AI is a great help in designing any project, right? You can write better, you can be better, so you show off. Once we regulate this, everyone will understand. So at some point, I could not understand why AI is talking like the bank and the bank is talking like AI. But now I know, because the bank is publishing so many papers, so many reports around the world and in every countries, and they are consistent. And from all times, we talk like AI. I was so in shock. We use words like significant, and also because of the language, language is important. Language can be a barrier in using AI, because the model that you develop, it should be in your own language. So when I hear that translators will remain without jobs and interpreters, it's not true. You need to help AI and to model the language, a mechanism in your own country. So it's not like, yes, you'll not have the former job, but you'll be able to have an enhanced job. So people should think about new ways to land in the new framework of jobs. But going back to kids, imagine a kid that is using AI and another one that is not. In 1 year, the divide will be even higher. That's why we need to help everyone. So that our duty is for government to make vulnerable people using more, just to be in line with the others, just to be not create this issue. Otherwise, is used only by the people that can use, because it can be expensive for some reason. In some schools, if you want to do more, if you want to train your chatbot with your own, so you need some work. But I think what definitely everyone wants and need is a basic course how to use AI and what AI is and how many tools there are. Did you ever see such a course? Because people are asking and I don't know where to send them, because there is not such thing like a quick understanding of AI. It's not quick.
It's not at all. And actually, it's interesting you say that, because recent reports have said that there is an absolute disparity. You are either very basic and it's just telling you what the terminology means, or it's really high level and you're trying to gain a master's degree or higher in that subject area. And actually there is nothing on that in-between stage of user cases, using the product, trying to actually embed it into your daily practice.
Yes.
And as we suggest, this is not just within education, even it's within everything, even all the way through to things like agriculture and data management and everything. We've got to be able to allow people to see how it links to their own lives. Otherwise, they won't understand the importance of needing to learn how to use it. And there is a technology barrier as well, isn't there?
And that's why I think your peers are important. So my colleagues, they learn from me, showing them how I'm using different AI tools for different purposes. If I want to prepare a PowerPoint, look here. If I want only to write better, you have this one. If I want to work with data, see how it works. So I have started showing to people real life experience. It's like how kids are learning, right? Same thing, but not so basic. Exactly as you said, nobody needs terminology anymore. We need to see how you can do it. But this is not as quick. Some people, some managers even, they believe, give me a quick crash course on AI. No, my dear manager, it's not like that. And you cannot replace me with an AI tool. No, I'm sorry. I will hallucinate and will give you the same response in a loop. And the tragedy is that if you believe that AI may replace teachers, it may happen the same thing. They may give the same exercise in a loop to kids. Kids, they will go mad because they cannot solve it. And in the end, everyone will just take out the kid from that school. So no, don't believe that AI will replace teachers, but teachers that are using AI and do, different type of teaching, they are very important. And look, we have a classroom so coming back to teachers, because I think their role will be even more important in the next century and in the next decade. Once we have AI, what it is important. So homeworks are not so important because they can be delivered with AI. So even parents are replaced with AI. This is good for kids that are coming from vulnerable families, right? They will have a parent, an average mother that can help with homeworks. So once the homeworks are not so, and all these things that we are doing at home with kids or in school, then it is important what the teacher is doing in the classroom. The quality of education is given by teachers and infrastructure. Once you have a quality teacher, this is how we measure. How we measure this? You know how we measure? Because these days, disengagement is an issue. And we don't talk about this. Disengagement of kids, disengagement of people. How many times you went to a training or a conference as you could see everyone is on mobiles?
Yeah.
And you talk and talk and talk. No. And nobody's looking at you. It's terrible. So
Absolutely.
I'm frightened by the disengagement. Then you just sit there and you are a ghost. You don't filter anything. You don't learn anything. It's just a waste of time. And this happens with kids in the classroom. Unfortunately, when they are not interested in what teacher is saying or how the teacher is saying. So classroom observation is a tool that helps. It means a person that comes to your classroom and observe 2 segments of 15 minutes. But we can replace that with the recordings on our mobile phones and then putting in the framework of the classroom observation, the entire framework and the scoring. And then you can self-assess yourself and see, I don't provide feedback to children. So this is an area that I can improve.
Yeah.
This is something I cannot build social and collaborative skills because I didn't put them to do any work together. So this is an area that I can improve. So AI can help you be a better teacher. It's that simple. And it matters what you do in the classroom. And more, this is the human interaction will be very important.
And actually for teachers, I remember myself, even whenever somebody says, I'm coming to watch your lesson, there's nothing more that you go, my goodness. And you could have had the most incredible lesson planned anyway. You know everything. You've been teaching for years. You're really confident. As soon as somebody says that, it does fill you with anxiety at a strong level, but it does kind of fill you with that nerve.
It's like an inspection.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's really hard.
yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it, about AI, is that you can actually say, look, we're not going to necessarily listen to this as leaders. We don't need to look at it, but we want you to use it as a personal coach, as a tool for you to be able to reflect and set yourself some personal professional targets
Very individualized.
Without that oppressive feeling of somebody making judgment of you. It's actually quite a nice way to be able to build people's skills, but without making them feel that they're being watched.
Yes, and also help them help themselves. It's not like, I think the more I'm working with different tools, I'm so happy to share with people, and going back to the governments. So it's not enough to work only with the governments. You need to work also at the grassroots level. You would never understand. So you cannot talk about AI if you are not using it, right? It's not right. It's not fair.
No.
Using it and then talk. There are people that are talking about AI, but they are not using it, like consistently trying different understanding, because it's not easy. We are no IT specialists. We are no digital specialists. It's hard. For me, it was hard at the beginning. My husband is an IT, so sometimes I steal from him, but it's really a different world, and you need to understand it to talk about it. Same with teaching. Everyone is good at education. It's like football. We know everything about football. We know everything. We are expert in football and in education. It's not quite like that. Go a little bit and understand. Go into the teacher's shoes, and you will see how many different experiences they live in one day.
Yeah.
They are heroes, and people these days don't realize how much we need them. Only parents. So that's why I wouldn't feel any threat on behalf of AI for the teachers. No way.
Yeah.
Maybe a change in the name.
Yeah.
This is at maximum.
They might become personal coaches to students instead.
Yes, or I don't know, advisors or facilitators of knowledge or broker of knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something else, and they will be still central for our kids. Otherwise, we will not be able to work, right? Who is taking care of our children other than teachers? I don't understand it. They are not caregivers. We are the caregivers. They are the teachers or the facilitators. So I really appreciate teachers, and that's why I want to give them as much as possible. I'm sorry for the people that are working in administration and management, because this is what happens. Middle managers are fired these days. Too many layers of management. Sometimes it's easier to just get rid of one layer because of their wages, because it's not only about the AI, it's a pretext. It's a reason that sometimes companies put the blame on just to get rid of salaries and to be more efficient. What we need to do, we need to take from the rich and give it to the poor. That's Robin Hood story. That's it.
Yeah. So I guess one last question for you would be, over the next few years, what would you like governments to be making a change in doing so that teachers can facilitate and access to support everybody to be able to be understanding how AI can empower them? What would you like to be seeing from the top down?
What I would like to do, what a government should do, right? Hypothetical world. In a hypothetical world, I think AI should be assisting us in everything, in all the activities. I will just put AI, maybe with a percentage. You see, not more than the rule of 30%. Do this. 30%, not more than 30% AI in every task. Be more efficient. Show me some results and improve in results. And I'm also more into result orientation, because everyone is talking about inputs, hour of work. No, about the results. How many of your kids improve a little bit? And not the ones that are also greatest, because they have also a good family, they have money, they have everything. Look at the majority and try to improve a little bit their life. And sometimes it's not only the results or the learning results, it's also the school climate. Improve that. Try to use more gamification. They love it. So why not? Let's play games. The replace board games with some games that are using AI. Try to invest in critical thinking, find solutions with kids. I think governments should help us all to work with AI and to invest in this, to invest for vulnerable. Otherwise, it will be a greater divide, and only the rich people will have their own robots and they will earn their own army. And what about the rest? We'll just look on the window what happens on the other part of the street, and I'm not happy with that. That's why, and talents, we'll lose talents. This is the moment where we can find talents everywhere, in a slum, in rural areas, in a remote village. You may find talented kids that may have a wonderful career in the future with some support and with AI. AI still can personalize learning. Don't forget that. It's very useful for kids with disabilities or for kids with autism. So why not? Let's do the framework. So the role of the government is to create the frameworks and also to monitor what happens and also to take the decisions. These decisions are important for the society. Once you say, I don't want AI, then this is your choice. But it's the choice of an entire country. So I can see that the government now are queuing on using more AI. They don't know how to do it in education, and education is very fragile. We work with kids. It's our future. So we need to be very wise. So do it, but do it by creating a safe environment and very responsible. This is how we try to do in Romania, right? This is what we are trying to prepare some frameworks that are responsible while safe. And we start with adults, right? With grown-ups, with management and with teachers, not with kids.
Thank you so much for your time today, Alina. It's been really interesting listening to you and your perspectives, especially on AI and education. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippa. Anytime.
You've been listening to the EdTech podcast with me, Philippa Wraithmell, and my guest today, Alina Sava, a senior education specialist at the World Bank. If there's one thread that runs throughout this conversation, it's that AI isn't the story, people are. Alina reminds us that AI can support learning, reduce workload, and even personalise pathways for vulnerable learners, but only if we build the right guardrails, invest in practical AI literacy, and protect what matters most: children's safety, equity, and human connection. Because the risk is real. A child using AI and a child without access will not be in the same place a year from now. That's why frameworks, governance, and responsible rollout aren't optional. They're the work that governments and entities need to do now to make sure that everybody has access. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe, leave a quick review, and share it with someone leading digital strategy, teacher development, or policy work right now, because these are the conversations we need to have at every level. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, rate, and share the EdTech podcast wherever you're listening. It really helps us grow and reach more educators and innovators around the world. We'd also love to hear from you, your thoughts, questions, or even your own stories of change in education. You can leave us a voice note on SpeakPipe. The link is in the show notes. And we might even feature your message in an upcoming episode. And of course, you can find all our links and show notes and resources at theedtechpodcast.com.